Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ from college football. Colorado two-way star Travis Hunter set to miss the next 3 weeks. Coach Deion Sanders said on Monday that means he's going to miss two of their biggest games of the year. This Saturday they take on number 10 Oregon in Eugene, and then after that 5th-ranked USC on September the 30th. Now, Hunter could also be out against the game against Arizona State if the timetable holds. He was injured on a late hit during number 19 Colorado's thrilling double overtime win over the Rams on Saturday. He was eventually taken to hospital for evaluation. Colorado has not divulged any details on the nature of his injuries. You take a look at the schedule there. 6 ranked teams remain, but obviously the focus, the next 2 games against 2 top 10 teams. Let's bring in senior college football writer Dennis Dodd for more on this. Dennis, first I'll get your reaction here. This is a big loss for Colorado because you're not just losing one player, you're losing 2.
Yeah, huge. You could make a case for Travis Hunter being maybe not the most valuable player, but maybe the most versatile right now. He played 149 of 160 snaps in the opener against TCU. Much was made about his two-way value for Colorado, and now they have to split that up. So Colorado loses maybe its most integral part of that whole team, given his athletic ability. He's already intercepted a pass. He was the 3rd leading receiver on the team. Saturday night when he went down, big move by Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator. They went from a base of 4 wide to 11 personnel, incorporating Michael Harrison, who is not a Louis. He's been there for 3 years now. He's a junior, the tight end, 6'3", 215, who caught 2 touchdown passes and a 2-point conversion. But yeah, facing back-to-back top 10 teams without arguably your, what do we call him, your most versatile player, is going to be huge for Colorado and being able to pull off those upsets.
Yeah, so when you're looking at it now, I mean, when you look at these 2 top 10 teams, obviously they were underdogs just going into these games with Travis Hunter on the roster. Now, as of Monday, it's a 21.5-point dog are the Buffaloes as they go up to face Oregon in Eugene. So when you look at these next 2 games on their schedule, how key is it, given that they weren't necessarily favorites, they weren't necessarily a team that was looked at that could go in and win these 2 games, but obviously now it certainly lessens their chances, but perhaps provides more added motivation for Deion.
Yeah, and that's been the key for Deion this whole time, isn't it? I mean, they've gone and made it, personal.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the odds makers. I'm frankly shocked it's 3 touchdowns. I would jump all over that, even without Travis Hunter. Not saying Colorado's necessarily going to win. In fact, Oregon's best receiver is the 2nd best receiver statistically in the Pac-12. Troy Franklin has 17 catches for 292 yards. And you better believe Travis Hunter would be all over him. Instead, you've got a Louis, Kendrick Breedlove, who's a transfer from Ole Miss, kind of played 10 games for the Rebels last year. He's going to be asked to fill in a lot on that. But look, I think 21 points is way out of line. We've seen how much this team can score. We saw the way they came back against Colorado State. And yes, I know Oregon isn't Colorado State, but if there's one thing you can hang your hat on with CU this year, it's certainly the offense, and Shedeur Sanders is a playmaker. So I think they'll be right in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled the upset outright. Obviously, without Travis Hunter, it's going to hurt a lot. But they've been the Buffs have been surprising this year, obviously.
Yeah, not to be downtrodden on the fact that, you know, Hunter is everything. Obviously, as you mentioned, their most versatile player, their MVP, whatever you want to call him, certainly one of the biggest parts of this team on both sides of the football. But this is college football's, you know, most scintillating story at this point. It will continue to be so. And just because Hunter's gone for these 3 weeks, it certainly doesn't mean that this team can't make a bowl game or even can't make a late run, can they?
No, and I forgot to mention, you know, look, you got 2 really good coordinators who are going to have to make up for his absence. The veteran Charles Kelly, who's been at Florida State, been at Alabama, he can scheme something up maybe where instead of going man stuff, they do more zone. Who knows? Offensively, Sean Lewis, I already mentioned the brilliance of him on Saturday where they went from a base of 4 wide to start the game with his absence. Then they just plugged in that tight end and went to more 11 personnel. I was really surprised how well Michael Harrison played. He had those 2 touchdown passes and then the game-tying 2-pointer at the end to force the game into overtime. I think they're actually okay there offensively. What I'm worried about is defensively. From an Oregon team offensively, it looks like it's absolutely ruthless. And Bo Nix is long rounded into shape there. having the best end to his career these 2 years at Oregon. I'd be more concerned for Oregon defensively because Travis Hunter can return kicks. Obviously, he's a guy that can single up and man, and that takes away, again, the Troy Franklin situation where you'd want him singled up on their best receiver.
The next 2 weeks were challenging for Colorado, just became a little bit more challenging without Travis Hunter for the next 3 games. Senior football writer Dennis Dodd joining us here on CBS Sports HQ to discuss this breaking news. Travis Hunter set to miss the next 3 weeks, according to head coach Deion Sanders. As you take a look at their schedule, obviously the next 2 games biggest on the schedule. Number 10, Oregon in Eugene this weekend, followed by number 5, USC next week.